This boat comes in at 23 feet long, is 102 inches wide, has a fuel capacity of 74 gallons, has seating for up to 16 people, weighs 6,750 pounds, and has 4,100 pounds of ballast. But they've gone with this really long touch display and they've pushed that down low. This rotary command over here that allows you to control a lot of the functions throughout here. But I really like the layout. Check this out, phone holder. Not only one-hand operation, but also wireless charging there. This has a lot of the boat controls, things like your climate and lighting, seat heater here, your heated steering wheel, yep, as well as your heater fan. You have a couple different speeds on that. This is where you can control your stereo, connect Bluetooth devices, and yes, this is all touchscreen over here. This has just a really nice layout. Things like your nav and volume can be done there, but you can also control your volume by just doing here, skip tracks, play, pause. There's also 3 custom presets, so you get the seat where you want it. You hit 1, 2, or 3, choose what position you want to be in. Now, also controlled from this area is the sundeck mister as well as the tower mister. Freshwater tank is bored under that seat over there. And what that does is when it's, say, a hot climate out and you want to cool things off, you can get a mist going from the tower as well as back of the transom seats. Yeah, they have that. Malibu, nice work on this one. This is the Malibu stern turn control right here. That allows the driver to not have to reach somewhere else to take their hand off the throttle when you're using the stern thruster. Now, that gives you better control of your boat, whether you're like sitting still or idling. You want to spin this thing 360, and you also can do it while the boat is off. Now, let's talk about what shapes up that wake and wave. You're gonna have a few things when you are creating that wave. Number one, you've got the ballast, and we're gonna show you some of the places they've placed all of this ballast. You've got 4,100 pounds that you can add to this thing, as well as the wedge. Now, there are 12 individual dedicated pumps. So you've got 6 different tanks, and you have a pump dedicated for putting water in, as well as then out. Within the different activities, up here on the screen, you're gonna have user profiles. Malibu, you've done a great job. The best I've seen so far this year with getting the right speed, starting with wakeboarding. When people are beginning to wakeboard, you really don't wanna get past that 18-mile-an-hour mark, and that's what happens when you hit beginner wakeboard. It puts the speed at 18 miles an hour. There's gonna be no ballast, and that is a great way to teach people to wakeboard. If you wanted to get into the intermediate wakeboarding, that is going to add some weight, only 50% back at the stern, and then you get into advanced wakeboarding. It's not necessarily going to fill up all of the ballast because they have optimized how much ballast you want to go depending on who's riding. So they're picking the speeds. You've done a good job with the speeds for all of the different levels of wakeboarding. And then with surfing, what's going to happen is it's not only going to add the weight into the specific zones depending on what kind of wave you want, but it's also going to add the Surf Gate Fusion. Now, Surf Gate is something that is proprietary to Malibu. They've had for a long time, and it has really allowed surfing to become that much faster and easier for people to create the wave. And what they've done on Fusion is they have integrated it into the hull, so it's not behind the boat, but it is placed into the boat, and it actually has a really nice sleek look. And when you hit surf left, it's going to deploy out on the right side, and that creates that wave. Now, another big factor in creating not only the waves, but also the wakes is called the wedge. That is also proprietary to Malibu. They've had it for a long time. And what it is a device that is mounted at the transom. And depending on the angle of attack, it is going to pull the boat down deeper into the water and changing that boat's attitude, which is going to also change that wake or wave. This is the first that I've seen of its kind, and they have not only the bow camera for when you are docking and the stern camera for when you are watching people surf, but they also have a 360 camera. That is the first that I've seen in the industry. You can also record videos from these cameras, as well as take still photos and then look those up later. And these are also a very high resolution. It's got really good cameras, so I can clearly see what's going on here and replay some of those memories. Nice work, Malibu. This is a big bow with a lot of different ways that you can face and sit and be comfortable. But you also have non-skid going all the way around the top here with a lot of space to go to and from the dock up here. And this big space has allowed them to fit some storage underneath this seat right here. Got 6 cup holders, as well as wireless chargers with these nice spots to securely charge your phone. USB and USB-C charging, as well as 12 volt if you have some inflatable you want to pump up. Flip down armrests on both port and starboard, and this seat back lifts up for communicating storage to get all of that space under there, easily accessed from both sides there. The passenger here has controls for different interior lights, heaters, as well as stereo controls. 4 cup holders, another wireless charger, more storage under here, and this seat back folds down, has some nice non-skid, so when you walk in from the dock, you're not stepping on your upholstery. And you have these flip down steps on both sides. Speaking of both sides, you also have a fuel fill on both the port and starboard side, so no matter what side you pull up to fuel your boat up, you're on the right side. Underneath all 3 cushions, you have good storage, as well as a spot for an insulated cooler. And once again, over on this side, you've got a seat base that turns into a backrest with 3 different positions. Same charging ports on port and starboard. You have got your 12 volt as well as USB and USB-C, as well as wireless charging. And not only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cup holders on here, and another wireless charging port, as well as some spaces to fit either sunglasses, more phones, whatever you need over here. Good use of space over here. That's a lot of cup holders. This seat has a lot going on. Not only, you can sit here, obviously, magnetic. Remove that, you can step through without going on your upholstery. Then it can also slide, becomes a big sunbed, becomes a backrest to check out all the action behind the boat, and also turns into a table. Normally this has non-skid on it, but it came straight from the factory, said, sorry, it'll go on there. But yes, that's cool. Pop-up ski pylon if you want that low tow point. Transom seats on both port and starboard. A small storage box is right underneath this seat base on port and starboard. Got 4 cup holders back here, as well as your misters on for those hot days. Kick that on and it'll cool you off. This lean back pops up for a higher backrest and also locks up this way, so you can sit up here and face that way comfortably. Transom stereo remote is located over there at the port corner. A few different swim platforms. You can just get the standard or this flip down one, which becomes a nice way to get in and out of the water, or just sit there and chill while you're floating and boating. You can also get this flip down in a power step. You can get some different towers here on the M230. This is a power tower, which goes up or down right here, as well as the location for the misters. You have some different bimini options here on the M230, and I really like this feature. This is clever how they've done this. And now it's locked into place just that easy. You've got storage compartments for ropes. I've got a surf rope over here, a little wakeboard rope over here. You've got surf pockets up top, and this is the longer bimini, which gives you shade all the way back to this point. Something to note, because this is a long bimini, you get great shade. That's what I like, but you do want to watch your head as you're stepping in and out, because it's directly over this spot here. But I prefer this one. The sound system in this boat is pretty phenomenal. It is a wet sound stereo, and you've got 8 speakers throughout the boat. The driver has a 12-inch sub at their feet. You can get an additional sub, but Malibu told me that most people end up just sticking with 1 sub, but where people end up upgrading more is in the tower speakers. Now, these are placed off to the side. They said they did that so that you get more head clearance, and that makes sense. You get 12-inch, these are called the 12 revs, and they are long throws to really cast that sound far out to the rider. Now, if you're out on a smaller lake, be considerate, but once again, with zone control, you can change what speakers are doing what, and so you can get 4 tower speakers. This is a 3,500 watt sound system, digitally tuned, and when we had the music going with Grub yesterday, sounded real nice. Well, thank you guys for watching, and Malibu, thank you guys so much for letting me check out the 2026 M230.